the Raiders kind of take them where they want to go, and then that powerful north-south runner that on occasion has given them trouble during the course of the year. This is a defense where the linebacker is going to have to fill the gaps, have some integrity in the cutback lanes. If they do those things right, they have a chance to win. But they know that all the pressure, Sterling, is on them defensively.
And all that pressure is on that front four, and all that pressure is on one guy, and that one guy is Brad Culpepper. The Oakland Raiders have given everyone a blueprint on how to run on this team. And what you do is you double-team Brad Culpepper and try and catch the linebacker, Hardy Nickerson, who's the middle linebacker up in the wash. And what you end up getting here is you get penetration. I mean, you get an outstanding push by that large offensive line. Here's your linebacker right here at 4 yards deep. Here is your defensive tackle at 7 yards deep. If you get this kind of play today from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Stephen Davis, Skip Hicks, me, somebody's great-grandma, whoever's running the football is going to have big yardage. And, Jim, I never played defense, but I know anytime your defensive tackle is deeper than your linebacker, you have a problem on defense.
Big problem. I know that one thing Brad Johnson was looking at, and he's going to continue to look at, is the twists and stunts by the linebackers and the defensive linemen. He said one of the focal points is Warren Sapp. We're going to know exactly where he is. We're not going to slide our line towards him, but we're going to know exactly where he is because of the stunts of Derek Brooks coming around the outside. Look for Brad Johnson today, Boom, to do a lot of shotgun formation. So I'm going to try to get away from that line a little bit so I have an extra 2-3 yards to step up because they're going to try, just like the Jaguars are going to try to do with Dan Marino, try to put something in Brad Johnson's face.
The one thing that Tampa does, they start a little slow on defense. They gave up 89 points in the first quarter, and in the second half alone, 130. So, I mean, if you don't get to their D in the first quarter, they start to get better and better and better. So Washington wants to come out and score quick. Stromile Swift is the second leading scorer in the end zone.
Looking long down the middle of the field for Jimmy Smith. James Stewart, he to the Cardell's got it.
That's for humanity at the door.
It's hit, sack, down he goes.
The road to Atlanta goes through Jacksonville.
It's a touchdown! All right, Miami!
That kid is unbelievable, isn't he?
Dan Marino cannot throw the ball.
More touchdowns than any other man in National Football League history.
Damon Heward is in at quarterback for Miami.
What a joy it has been to watch that man play football.
Hi again, everybody. I'm Jim Nance, and welcome to our special AFC playoff edition of the NFL Today presented by Southwest Airlines. We begin the divisional weekend with bookends, if you will, here at CBS today. Miami at Jacksonville, 1/2 hour away, and we conclude tomorrow with Tennessee against Indianapolis. And joining me for all the games all weekend long, Craig, Randy, and Jerry. I don't know about you guys. I got a feeling this could be like a upset Saturday coming here, partner. What do you think?
We're kind of together, huh?
Hey, not only today, but could be Sunday. And you know, we've thought about this, and you and I may have a little guts to step out there and say which quarterbacks will make a difference in this show.
You're taking those old vets, are you?
Just stick around.
You'll find out. This is my favorite weekend because it's about college football kind of weekend, the way it feels, the way the games are. Today is Saturday. That means defense. Tomorrow is offense, and the ball's in the air, but I can't wait to see the defenses today.
But what you got to watch today is some of these teams have been on a bye week, and when you're on a bye week, your legs are fresher. When I used to coach I had to win the wild card. So now you go in there. I look over at the second quarter, and that bye week team all of a sudden is fresher, quicker, and faster. Watch for that today. My teams got slower.
They were better too. That's the problem.
That was
Your team started slow. That's why you should have won a division. Forget the wild card. Right now, let's check in live with our colleagues who'll be calling the action in Jacksonville. Vern Lundquist and Dan Deerdorf. Hello, gentlemen.
Hi, Jim. How are you? Well, the Jacksonville Jaguars had the bye week. They've got this gaudy 14-2 record. But, Dan, they do have some concerns surrounding health.
Yeah, they really do, Vern. It starts with their quarterback, Mark Brunell. Next to the last week of this season, he tore a ligament in his knee, in his left knee. He's wearing 2 braces today. Big question mark. Mark's mobility, which means can he protect himself? Also on the offensive line, in the season finale, they lost all-world left tackle Tony Baselli. Today, he's replaced by guard Ben Coleman. Question mark there.
Miami goes on the road, wins in Seattle last week, but they do so with a limited number of passes from Dan Marino.
And it worked, and that means no interceptions, Vern, and that's what Dan Marino threw last week in Seattle. And he's got confidence because of that 85-yard game-winning drive in the fourth quarter. The other reason the Dolphins have confidence is because of the play of their defense and because of these 2 big guys inside, Gardner and Bowen. And quite frankly, Jacksonville a little concerned as to whether they can block these 2.
Only the second time these 2 in-state teams have met. Back to you, Jim.
All right, Vern, Dan, look forward to your call very much. And Craig, you had a chance to stop off in Jacksonville this week, and you didn't feel all that confident about the Jags after you were down there.
And you usually leave really feeling good about a team. Hey, even though Mark Brunell's starting today, everyone will be wondering how's the knee and how effective can he be in running the Jaguars' offense. I asked him about that.
It's not 100% right now, but it feels good. I can move around.
Point, Atiba Prater, and Jim.
Probably won't be as mobile as I usually am, but that's all right. It feels strong, getting stronger every day. And but you know, once the game starts, you forget about the injury, you forget about the leg, and you just go play.
You know, you're expecting them to come to the pocket and force you to move.
For sure. I mean, I'm sure that's part of their game plan, but that's okay. You know, we've got some pretty good linemen up there, and we got to keep those guys out.
Hard to replace a guy like Tony Baselli.
You know, it really is because, you know, on the field he's a great player, but he's also a great leader on our team. You know, I'd say that Tony's probably our most vocal guy on the team, a guy that, you know, gets the other guys going, rallies them, and yelling and screaming, and he does a great job at that. And we don't have that, so other guys have to pick it up.
Taylor running left behind his team. It's like,
There he goes to the 45-50. Free at the 30. The foot race 10. Touchdown, Fred Taylor.
I just want to run the ball, keep the defense strong. We're too close to not help each other out. We got to help each other out. We're just 2 games away, and everybody realizes that.
Now fires into the end zone. Gee, the Cardinals touchdown.
I think they're probably going to take the approach, make more readers, make the receivers readers, and we're going to be up to the challenge, and I can't wait. I mean, you get pressed man-to-man coverage, you got to win. You got to, you know, when you get that opportunity with man-to-man coverage, you got to make a big play.
One thing's for sure, Miami's defense has confidence right now. They're playing well. They're fast and quick. Can Brunell avoid them? Mobility will be very important for him today. Or Mr. Fiedler may get a chance to come out there. And you see Mark, whenever he walked into the meeting with me, he had 2 knee braces on.
Yeah.
That's not natural.
Yeah. And don't forget, when they met last year, Taylor broke a long one, some 70 yards in the first play of the game. That Miami defense, I'm sure, is aware of that, too. Now, later today on Florida's Gulf Coast, the NFC Central champion Tampa Bay Bucs, coming off a bye, will host NFC East champion Washington. The Redskins just buried the Lions in their wild card matchup last week, and our Marcus Allen is in Tampa with the latest on today's NFC Divisional Playoff Showdown. Marcus?
Well, Jim, I've been down here the last couple of days, and the atmosphere is electric. As far as Stephen Davis is concerned, the clear news is his ankle is just about the same way it was last week when he rushed for over 100 yards against Detroit in the first half. What's unclear is his knee. Now, based on personal experience, needs to be somewhat iffy. One wrong move, one hard hit, and you're out of the game. In any case, the Skins feel even if Stephen's starting, they're in for a severe challenge against the Buccaneers defense.
They're a team that's very aggressive. They're very quick. Their schemes are always in the right place. They have 11 guys tackling the ball.
I think they're extremely well coached, and I think they have a very specific plan, and they're going to stick with that plan. They do a good job of mixing the pass and pass. They will take shots down the field. They're very, very efficient with what they do on offense.
It's do or die. So, you know, you're going to get my best. I'm going to expect to get your best. And may the best man win, and we'll walk off the field one way or the other.
You know, we're just 2 steps away from the greatest show on earth. And, you know, the prize is right there in front of us. It's just our opportunity to go out and seize this opportunity. And I think we're all prepared for that.
For us, it's really trying to eliminate the big play. Not give Stephen Davis the 40-yard run, not give him the 35-yard pass. If we can make him use a lot of plays, then that's going to be to our benefit.
Well, it's obvious that both teams are prepared to play today, but the prevailing feeling around the Redskins organization is if they strike early, the Buccaneers do not have the offense to play catch-up. Jim?
All right, of course, the big question there, too, the rookie quarterback, Sean King for the Bucs. How will he respond? Let's go to today's IBM Power Poll, where Craig and Randy can offer their keys to the Bucs-Redskins game. Folks, take note. Craig, you're up first.
All right, let's start with the Redskins. Number 5, Stephen Davis. You got to hope that the guy shows up and can play, but assume he can't. Larry Centers has got to get out of the backfield and catch the ball. He's outstanding. Number 3, come on, Dan and Dana. Earn the money on that D-line. Physical offensive line play. Don't talk trash. Just play hard and make Sean King play quarterback, not just hand the ball off.
Well, I'll take the Tampa Bay side, Craig. They have got to pressure Brad Johnson. No two ways about it. John Lynch, you got to be a DB, not a linebacker. The Bucs cornerback's got to cover those big wide receivers of the skin. Hey, offside, don't fumble. And you got to go Stone Age if you're Tampa. That means run the ball, pound it at him, and play physical defense.
Well, I noticed all three are talking about Sean King. Sean King's favorite pass is a screen. Anybody can throw the screen against zone defense. Redskins all zone. Tampa wins with the screen pass.
Ooh. I know we like Washington down at this end. All right, gentlemen, here's what else is coming up on the show today.
Still ahead on the NFL today. We'll preview tomorrow's Titans-Colts showdown, a showcase for some of the NFL's brightest new stars. Plus, we'll take a look at the Dolphins' D. Can it come up big against the Jaguars? The NFL today.
Criticism that's been levied towards the defense and you throughout the year is warranted.
You know, that's a tough one to answer for one single reason. When it all started, I wasn't going to point any fingers, and when it all ends, I'm not going to point any.
Brad Shaw said I had to ask the question. So I did.
Drop him on that football field, you guys. Next time you see him, just hey.
I was actually at Baton Rouge helping the president of the Alumni Association raise some money for a hotel.
I was searching for somebody to, I guess somebody who wanted to go through hell with me, I guess you could say.
How would you describe your position here?
Another set of eyes, really, watching practice, being in the meetings and listening and contributing when I can, and also on game day being in the box upstairs.
You know, Bill's age, 72 when he came, 73 now, years old. I was kind of surprised, but it was me that initiated it. And
at least you know he's not going to be running the streets at night.
No, he's not.
Bill's watching film.
Bill's watching film with me.
Hard understand willingness to grow.
Well, I think the Arizona game was a turning point, but because before that, we were playing like maybe 2 quarters a game where we played great and 2 other quarters where we'd be, you know, mediocre or just suspect. But the Arizona game was a complete game for us.
Where would you put this defense now?
Well, I've heard it said you're only as good as your last game, and our last game was pretty good.
You probably would be best advised to bring your big boy pads. you know,
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I got to put I'm gonna definitely swell up. We're going to bring our hard hats and our hard boots, and we'll be ready for that run. If we continue to control the line of scrimmage as a defensive line and get after the quarterback, well, we feel we have a chance to be in the Super Bowl.
Obviously, the turning point was it coincided with the arrival of Bill Arnsberg, and he's done a great job. Mike Nolan has done a great job in the second half of the year, but I think the big key, guys, is they're lining up in the right places, which allows the coaches to go with their full complement of defensive package. Mike Nolan is a first-class guy. That's what I get out of this interview.
But didn't you love watching Washington last week? To me, it was a totally new look for the Redskins defense. They were blitzing, they were attacking, they were relentless. But remember, that was against the Detroit Lions, a team that does not have a running game, doesn't have a receiving threat out of the backfield. Now they're going up against Tampa Bay. And if you blitz this bunch, Mike Allstott breaks through the line of scrimmage. There's nobody back there. You got Warwick Dunn on the outside, one-on-one, make somebody miss 70 yards down the field. Don't think they can play the same way today.
There's a lot of really great guys in this league, Howie, and Mike's one of them. But the point is, these guys are not lining up right, and that's their problem. Who's responsible for that? Mike Nolan is. And this team didn't get good defensively until Arnsberger came on the scene. And they are playing well. They are playing excellent football right now. and it'll be a challenge today. My question today be, if they can't run it, I really don't think that they'll be able to throw. And this is a great, great offense that scored a lot of points.
Have you seen more aggressiveness as of late in the Redskins defense, Howie?
Yes, I have, and the reason why is because they're lining up in the right place. It allows the coach to blitz. They've been burnt in the past.
All right.
Yeah, that kills me. They lined up wrong.
In the wrong place. I hear you loud and clear.
6 days studying this stuff. And
Coming up, the Buccaneers call it smash mouth, but others call it a little bit boring. Up next,
lined up right.
We'll check out Bucs ball. And the question is, can conservative football win a championship?
That's what playoff football is all about. Running the ball and not making mistakes.
Their quarterback to win the game, just don't lose it. It's called Buc ball. And Pam Oliver joins us now from Tampa. And hello, Pam.
Hello, JB. And you know, Tampa's formula for success is very simple, and it never changes. They like to field a strong, dominant defense that will maul you, and a grinded-out kind of offense that can bore you to death. Their style very atypical of what we're seeing in today's NFL, and that suits their head coach just fine.
What we're going to do right here is go back. Way back.
So I'm a firm believer in defense wins championships.
Obviously, defense wins championships.
Back in the day, they didn't have those aerial attacks and all of that, you know. They was running power and counter OT and all that good stuff. And that's pretty much what we are, because that's where our coach is from.
We're going to kind of go old school today.
I like that.
Yeah,
I'm old school.
Old school. Because you're one of those people who still have that mindset, right, that defense wins championships.
I do. I believe
Do you
that.
feel like a fossil sometimes with that?
Well, I do around town sometimes, and it is a different game now. It's clearly different than it was in the 70s and 80s, but I think you can still win, and I think most very, very good teams have been defense-oriented.
For a young guy, Tony Dungy thinks old. His formula for success is reminiscent of the days the phrase good old-fashioned football is often used to describe. Other teams may have more firepower, but the Bucs power their success in a way that can put the MTV generation to sleep.
Working for Coach Noel for so many years, and he was a guy that was very true to his beliefs. Denny Green worked for Marty Schottenheimer 3 years. So when you're around good people that aren't afraid to buck the trends, they aren't afraid to stand alone, I think it's a good training.
He believes in a running game, controlling the clock with aggressive defense, creating turnovers. Really think this team fits his personality. And it's no secret that we're the strength of this team.
And it shows. While Tampa's rock-solid defense has excelled under Dungy, the offense has consistently finished in the league's bottom tier. This year was no exception, but the unit gained confidence with its improved play late in the season and knows progress in the playoffs demands they carry their own weight.
Do you guys get tired of being considered the weak link?
Yeah, because with all the weapons we have on the offensive side, we should be throwing up 28, 35 points a game.
We have to score points. We can't put it all on our defense. You know, so we can't let those guys just win all the games. We have to go out and play well.
And not turn the ball over.
Come on, O. Execute, O.
That's the only thing we ask. Don't put us in a tough situation with the short field, because most teams are good enough to get 11, 10 yards and kick a field goal. And then now we're playing from behind. And we're not a come from behind, you know, fight, throw the ball 60 times type of team.
No, Tampa's the type of team that sticks to the plan with the tried and true approach of bludgeoning the opponent into submission.
You don't have to throw 50 times a game to go to the Super Bowl.
What are we supposed to do? What are we supposed to watch?
I think you can appreciate the running game, appreciate efficient passing, appreciate good defense.
And you don't care. You have no shame.
I have no shame. Hopefully we can do that 3 more times.
And we posed this hypothetical to Tony yesterday. We said, what if you had a quarterback like Brett Favre? Would you still run the same style of offense? He said, well, we will always run the ball, but if we had someone like Brett, maybe we'd open it up a little bit. What's interesting is he thinks eventually, under Sean King, as he develops, that they will be able to open things up just a little bit. But for now, JB, they plan to stick with what got them here, what helped them win 11 games and set a franchise record. Back to you.
Hey, Pam, I got to be honest. I love that gleam in your eye, and I know, in fact, it's because there are many ex-stars in the stadium today, huh? I still love you, Pam. I love you, Pam. Well, look, if looks could kill anyway, let me turn to Chris and ask you.
Don't turn to me now.
Hey, Chris, could you play in that Buccaneers offense?
Oh, wow. You're bailing right over to me now.
Absolutely.
Yeah, JB, I could, because just like on this show, I'm just a team guy, and I like to do what's best for everybody. That's the way I believe in doing things. I had a chance to talk to John Lynch this week, the outstanding strong safety of the Buccaneers, and ask him about this Washington offense. I did. We had a nice conversation. No, we had a nice
Let him
conversation.
finish. He gets flustered.
And Washington does not side adjust from the outside. So what Tampa Bay is going to do today is they are going to fake blitzes. They're going to try and get Brad Johnson to get up and audible at the line of scrimmage, thinking the blitz is coming, and then they're going to say, check two, check, and then drop back into some soft zones. They think they can come up with some interceptions underneath, playing mind games with Brad Johnson.
The thing that stands out about this Tampa Bay Buccaneer defense, the people that play them, in particular people that play them twice a year, is you have to readjust to the speed of their defense, the fastest defense in the league. And it's not only the first time, it's the second time. It catches you totally by surprise. The way to combat it, as we mentioned earlier, Stephen Davis running the ball downhill will take John Lynch, hopefully, out of that too-deep zone, which will open things up down the field and put their corners on an island. Hicks is not a back that does that. Stephen Davis goes down, and Hicks has to run outside. That plays right into Tampa Bay's hands.
If Washington runs, they have to bring their safeties up, and that's Lynch. And that's why the play action work. And that's why second half of that Detroit game, they couldn't run, they couldn't throw. And the same thing will happen today. Cover two is a quarterback. Safeties rolling bad jams by the corners. You saw it last week. And when the Vikings hosted the Cowboys, man, that is easy pickings. They have got to be able to run the football. I'm talking about Washington.
Are you sticking with your New Year's resolution not to mention Jimmy Kimmel's name?
Oh, please.
Is that
please.
right?
I thought he got fired. Is he still with us?
So you could care
He's in
less
Tampa Bay.
about
That's what JB was
who
talking
he
about.
likes today. Is that right?
Could care
He's
less.
down in Tampa Bay.
Well, you know what? I know he could care less, but we are obligated to. So, Jimmy, take it away.
Thanks, Dad. I don't have a lot of time today, so I just want to tell you I like Tampa Bay later, and I have a real good feeling about Jacksonville. I'll be back with a lot more nonsense tomorrow. Back to you, Pop.
All right, folks, it is a final. Jacksonville spanks the Dolphins 62-7. Second worst playoff loss in history. That, of course, Washington losing 73-0 to Chicago 60 years ago. All right, folks, Washington's offense being introduced in Tampa for the big game coming up. We will get you out there after our final thoughts when we come back after this.
Mark, Freddie, thanks to you both, and congratulations.
Thank you. All right, Bonnie, and of course the AFC Championship game will be next Sunday here on CBS at Jacksonville, as the Jacks will take on the winner of tomorrow's game between Tennessee and Indianapolis. Coming up, we're going to join Marcus Allen in Tampa on hand for the Bucs Redskins. That's next.
For the game against Washington. Final thoughts start with Chris.
A lot of offensive linemen hurt in this ball game, JB. Andy Heck and Corey Raymer for the Washington Redskins. I don't think Raymer's going to make it through this game with that rib injury. And Paul Gruber, of course, for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Which offensive line gets settled earliest in the game probably makes a difference here.
And talking about offensive lines getting settled, the Washington Redskins feel the key to the game, especially early on, is controlling Warren Sapp. They feel he is the heartbeat of that football team. When he makes a big play early, the stadium goes crazy, the defense goes crazy, the offense responds. Make no mistake about it, the onus is on Warren Sapp and Wilkerson and Stubblefield. So defensive tackles, in my mind, control the game today.
And naturally, as they should. And as a quarterback, I would worry about tackles. But emotion, and enthusiasm, all these things play a huge role in winning at home. And Mike Shuley, if you're listening to me right now, they think you're going to run. Come out early, right off the bat, play action, take it down the field. This young Sean King can get it done.
With 60 seconds before the start, you think Mike Shula is really listening to you right now?
No, it was hanging on every word. It was just my way of trying to
You like Tampa Bay, is that right? You like Tampa Bay. Who do you like?
Bay.
All right. Folks, we'll find out. We will join you at the half. We're leaving Big Boy alone because we know we'll see you at the half. Leave him.
You're watching the NFC.
This is the Bay Area Southern Style and a glorious day in Tampa, Florida today And the fans are caught up in playoff atmosphere. There's a big party going on here in Tampa. And how do you like your lobster? As the NFC Divisional Playoff getting set to get underway, as the Washington Redskins take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And what a scene indeed, everyone. Welcome to Tampa. Dick Stockton with Matt Millen and Pam Oliver. And the Buccaneers, who got a bye this week, finished the regular season in a blaze of glory, winning 8 of their last 9, including 7 straight here. They have an incredibly potent defense, a rookie in Sean King at quarterback, but there's no mystery to how this team goes about their business.
Yeah, there's no question. And anybody who's been a Bucs fan, or actually who's been an opponent of the Bucs, knows the recipe never changes for them. What they're going to do today, no surprise, they're going to run the football. They're going to play solid defense. They're going to try to shorten the game and try to keep the ball away from that Washington offense. And then the biggest key in my mind is how the rookie, you mentioned Sean King, how he's going to handle this game. If that Buc offense can get to 3rd and short, 3rd and manageable for King, they'll be in good shape.
Now the Washington Redskins coming off an easy win over the Detroit Lions with their high-octane offense. And Norv Turner extremely confident coming in this game, despite the doubts that Stephen Davis, the running back, is going to start and could play the entire game. This team could put a lot of points, but I tell you, Norv Turner relaxed as you could want yesterday.
Very relaxed, and to a man, I believe, respectfully confident. They go into this game knowing that they're capable, knowing that they've played well down the stretch. And what they'll do again all comes down to Stephen Davis in that running game. Pounding inside, getting themselves some good play-action pass, and then throwing for big plays down the field. But the game within the game today that I'm really looking forward to is Norv Turner, arguably one of the best play callers in the National Football League, and Monty Kiffin, the mad professor I like to call him, because you never know what he's going to do. It may look like one thing, and you heard Chris Collinsworth talk about it on the pregame show. They'll show you something, but they'll give you something else. I'm really looking forward to it.
Should be a great one and a true contrast in style. The explosive offense of the Redskins and the tremendous, ferocious defense of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And the winner here will move to the NFC Championship game next Sunday.
You're watching the NFC Divisional Playoff on Fox.
Home, and the first time they have hosted a playoff game, and Sean King from St. Petersburg, about 10 miles west of here, and a big advantage for the Buccaneers. Teams with a bye week have a 17-1 record in the NFC in divisional games. The Bucs will get the ball first. Brett Conway kicking off, and Warwick Dunn, who was installed as a kick returner the last 2 games of the regular season, fields this and mucks it on the 12-yard line. And Dunn will bring it out just shy of the 25. So let's set the offense for Tampa Bay. Sean King, 4-1 as a starter, and mopped up in the victory over Seattle when Trent Dilfer got hurt the week before. Pete Pearson, who hasn't started in 3 years, is at left tackle for Paul Gruber. Diaz, Mayberry up front, along with Middleton and Wunsch. Dunn and Allstott, contrast in styles for the running backs. Jacquez Green and Bert Emanuel are the receivers, and underrated Dave Moore, the tight end. Tampa Bay starting from the 24-yard line, and a play-action pass on first down, and the pass is incomplete. It was intended for Green. Defensively for the Redskins, and they have stepped it up lately. Up front, it's Marco Coleman, Dana Stubblefield, Dan Wilkinson, and Anthony Cook. Stubblefield and Wilkinson keys today. The linebackers are Sean Barber, Derek Smith, and Greg Jones. Champ Bailey, the rookie, with a big year. At one corner, 17-year veteran Darrell Green, the other cornerback. With Sam Shade and Leamon Evans, the safety. Dunn getting his first carry of the game for no gain.
Dick, and this sets up on the very first series what they don't want to do all game long, and that is get into 3rd and long. They want to get into 3rd and manageable. The one thing about Sean King, and everybody talks about, is his poise and how unflappable he is. To me, he's an extension of his head coach. He's exactly like Tony Dungy. He's what Dungy likes. The interesting thing to me is something Dungy told us last night. He said, if we go into this 4th quarter down by 3, 10-7, we feel like we're winning.
Rarely hear that from a coach. Out of the shotgun on 3rd down and 10. And rookie Darnell McDonald in the game at wide receiver and nearly picked off. Warwick Dunn was the intended receiver, and way off the mark was that pass.
Well, first of all, I believe Mike Shula listened to Terry Bradshaw in the pregame. They were talking about they came out and they did play action early. That ball looked like it got a little bit of a tip at the line of scrimmage, and Sean Barber almost had himself a shot at an interception. But again, it was the 3rd and long that they want to stay out of.
3 and out for the Bucs, and Mark Royals having a big year as the Bucs punter, and a fine kick. Brian Mitchell at the 29 returning for the Redskins, and he is dropped before he could get underway at the 35-yard line. 48-yard kick for Mark Royals. So the Redskins with their offensive play, Brad Johnson, 3-1 as a starter against Tampa Bay. That is a member of the Minnesota Vikings. Skip Vickers is up front at left tackle, replacing Andy Heck. Sims Raymer also up front with Trey Johnson and John Jansen. Davidson centers the running back. Westbrook and Connell the receivers. And outside, Stephen Alexander. Starting from the 35, and the handoff to Stephen Davis. Didn't look very good early in the week as to whether he would play at all, and he gets about a yard. Defensively, up front, Steve White, Warren Sapp, the NFL Defensive Player of the Year, Brad Culpepper, and Chidi Ahanatu. 2 Pro Bowlers at linebacker, Derek Brooks and Hardy Nickerson. Shelton Quarles with them. Rondy Barber and Donnie Abraham, the corners. John Lynch, he too going to the Pro Bowl with Damian Robinson, the free safety. Larry centers in motion to the left, and Brad Johnson's first pass, and that one is incomplete. Hardy Nickerson defending on the play. Alexander, the intended receiver.
Dick, whenever you play this Tampa Bay defense, they do cause you some problems, but they're very, very basic. What they force you to do is be patient. Just speaking to Brad Johnson, he said, I know on the field that I'm going to be patient. This one's on Norv on the sideline. He's got to be patient over there. And just talking to Norv in the pregame, remember he said, we're still going to take our shot.
Irving Fryer has come in, and wide receiver Brian Mitchell also in on passing down. 3rd down and 8 for Brad Johnson, and his pass up the middle is caught by Connell, and he is stopped about 3 yards shy of the first down. And the Redskins may have to kick.
Dick, you know, this is a carbon copy first series for both teams. From the defensive side, they got him into 3rd and long, and then they play good, disciplined defense, force you to throw underneath. And unlike today's earlier game in that Miami debacle, today what you'll see is good tackling. That was the most pathetic tackling I've ever seen.
And an incredible runaway 62-7 Jacksonville victory. So 4th down, and Matt Turk will punt, and Carl Williams back deep for Tampa Bay. End over end punt and fielded by Williams, and he gets tripped up and dives forward to this weekend, featuring a matchup of 2 division champions, the Buccaneers, capturing the NFC Central for the first time in 18 years.
That's Trey Johnson over there on the sideline. He may have gotten whacked in the eye. Got a little bit of ice in the towel there.
Buccaneers starting from their 27th. And Warwick Dunn, maybe a yard, that's all.
This is Warren Sapp on the previous play on that 3rd down. And what he's going to be doing, first of all, you can notice that he's drawing a crowd. Second thing, you saw John Jansen get his left hand on him. And now this is for later on in the game. Warren Sapp is going to go over to the official, Dick Hantak, and tell him, just remind him that they're holding him. Didn't you see that hold? But you see the smile on his face? The respect? You know what that is? That's setting it up for later. Just to call it to attention, because we're all human.
Smart gamesmanship on the part of Warren Sapp. 2nd down and 10. And the handoff to Warwick Dunn. And Warwick Dunn gets close to the first down. And Leamon Evans, the free safety, rode the back of Dunn. And a gain of 9 yards.
Sometimes you're blocked, and sometimes you block yourself. And I want you to watch right here, Dan Wilkinson. What he's going to do, he's going to take that quick move, and all he did was he's created that void. And once that void is there, you better believe that Warwick Dunn's vision is going to get him to the hole. He's a scary guy and the only really legitimate big play guy in this offense right now.
3rd down and 1. Dunn is on the sideline, and Mike Allstott has Kevin McLeod up front blocking for him, and they give it to Allstott. And Allstott may not have made it. He did not, apparently. And the Redskins defense playing a lot better lately than they did earlier in the season. Right there. And Dunn is on the bench right now, shaken up, and he was healthier toward the end of the year, but might have gotten hit.
The one thing about Warwick Dunn, he may be small in stature, but he's got a heart the size of King Kong. That's the first thing. The second thing is he is for me, he's a warrior. And he wants to play. And the one thing that bothered him, just in speaking to him this week, I want the ball. I'm a running back. I don't like to watch. I like to play.
He was their leading receiver this year, and of history, they are 20-0 after leading after 3 quarters. And man, I know you were part of a lot of those games.
That was a big part of that thing, and it was a lot of fun. And it's fun when you start getting your good players playing well. And Warren Sapp is starting to tune it up a little bit down there.
2nd down and 10. Brad Johnson taking the deep drop, setting up the screen, and the pass is caught, and a flag is down. Irving Fryer got hit by Quarles, but there is a flag down in what has been a game with very few penalties.
Well, what's happened here, and this is going to go against Tampa Bay, but what I can see has happened here in the second half is the Tampa defensive front has picked up the pace. And it's given pressure now to Brad Johnson. He has not been able to push the ball down the field in the second half.
Face mask call. Obviously not pleased. Tony Dungy. Buccaneers 2nd in the NFL with the fewest penalties.
Another reflection of the head coach.
This is the first penalty against the Buccaneers today. It comes in the 4th quarter. Big hand tag.
Personal foul. Face mask. Defense 53. 15 yards, first down.
That's a big one, too. Shelton Quarles, maybe after the catch by Fryer.
Well, here's Shelton Quarles right here. I think they're trying to say that that's the face mask right there on Alexander, but it looks like he missed it.
15-yard penalty marked off gives the Redskins good position now on their 46. Stephen Davis is buried by Derek Brooks, and a loss of 2 yards, and one of the hardest hits we've seen today.
We talked about the patience that it has to come from the sideline of the offense. But let's not forget the patience of the defense in Monty Kiffin. And here they come. And what they're bringing is a couple of run blitzes. And that time was an excellent read by Derek Brooks, who came, saw the void, and essentially a good linebacker becomes a running back. He reads the same things with those eyes, ends up with a great pop.
And he's headed to the Pro Bowl once again for the 3rd straight year. So it'll be 2nd and 12. Skip Hicks has come in at running back for the first time today for the Redskins. Hicks and Stephen Davis battled in preseason to win the job, and Davis won, and the rest is history. Play fake to Hicks. Johnson fumbles. Loose ball. Warren Sapp. He's got it. And now they're pointing Washington's way. First hand pack went one way with it, and now it's the clock. I think Tampa Bay's got the ball. Warren Sapp, but not after Steve White forced the fumble.
White just beat him with speed around the corner. And because they had coverage down the field, he was able to smack that ball, and the ball's out. Watch Warren Sapp. He first thought about trying to be a hero, but then he thought he better just get it. Look at this. Nicely done around the corner on Vickers. Slaps it from behind, and the Bucs are back in.
Sapp showing no ill effects of that injury that sent him to the locker room in the 2nd quarter. So a first down at the 32-yard line. And now Sean King is back, in a huge loss of over 10 yards or close to it by Dana Stubblefield, and that's a 10-yard setback for the Bucs.
And also took him out of field goal range. But they should thank Sean Barber, because Sean Barber jumped the underneath coverage, and he had no place to throw. Had to pull that ball down. Good coverage out in the flat, and then Stubblefield's able to come off. See, right here. This is what they're going to try to get to. Barber comes over, and he gets down in this flat. No place to throw.
Big play by the defense coming right back after that unfortunate play for Washington on the fumble. 2nd and 20. Design sprint out. King. Bobble and a catch. Bert Emanuel's got it. And they get a lot of those yards back. They'll be short by about 4. Mark McMillan on the hit on Bert Emanuel.
I was waiting for this from Mike Shula, the offensive coordinator. Move the pocket. Move the pocket. Buy some time. Stretch the field. When you start moving your quarterback, that really puts pressure on you defensively in your zone. And you really have to have excellent discipline. And if you don't, holes open up. Sean King took advantage of one of those holes.
And the Bucs are back in field goal range. 3rd down and 3 on the 25. King. And King is going to fumble, and it's picked up by Warwick Dunn. And Dunn will have the first down for Tampa Bay on a broken play. Sean Barber forced the fumble, and Dunn picks it up. And a big play for Tampa Bay on 3rd down.
He was looking down the field for Yatil Green. It wasn't there. And then Darrell Green stayed on Green. No place to go with the ball. And then Sean Barber slapped the ball away. But look at the heads-up play. Warwick Dunn. It was all because of the pressure, or the coverage rather, by Darrell Green on Jacquez Green that forced him to have to come back.
First down, and here is Warwick Dunn trying to work his way in for tough yards, and Dunn, nothing there. Marco Coleman on the tackle.
What a big play. If you look back in today's game, to this point, all the big plays that happened by this Tampa Bay offense have been Warwick Dunn. The interference call, the throw earlier right after Lynch's interception to get another first down, and that one was a monster. It was a
very alert play.
Yeah, not only that, but I mean, it could have been a disaster. Ball's on the ground. Dunn, because he's trailing, much like Franco Harris, just running to the football. You pick it up. Good hustle. Turned in a big play.
And an 88-1 edge this half by the Buccaneers. So they have turned it around, but still trail the Redskins by 6. Sean King gets to Warwick Dunn again, and Dunn tackled close to first down yardage inside the 10-yard line by Derek Smith. Maybe short by a yard, and shaken up early. Warwick Dunn has come back big here in the second half.
Well, yesterday, as we were watching the film, and we spoke with Tony Dungy, Richie Zients, our producer, said, you know what, Warwick Dunn's going to make some big plays tomorrow. And Tony Dungy agreed with him, and they were both right.
That's why Richie's going to be an assistant coach with this team next year.
Exactly right.
2 tight ends on 3rd and 1. Allstott very close to the 6. And the Buccaneers trying to control the ball. Warwick Dunn has come up big here in the second half.
Much like Darrell Green, man with great character. You know the story of his mother. I was shot in the line of duty, and he has been raising his brothers and sisters. And it's not been an easy thing for him. He's had to learn how to be a big brother and a father and a provider all at one thing. And I have a great amount of respect for that man, Warwick Dunn.
Measuring for the first down, and the Buccaneers are short by a yard, it appears. So it'll be 4th down and 1.
All game long, this defensive front of the Washington Redskins has taken away the run. Sean King is shaking him off, saying, let's go for it.
4th down and 1.
And they're going to go for it. Now this is This is the defining play of this game, Dick.
Still plenty of time remaining. 9:15 to go. Warren Sapp looking at the crowd, not on the field. He's the maestro here. Allstock. The tailback with Kevin McLeod blocking up front. And the give is to Allstock. Got the first down and gets inside the 5.
That was good, smart offense. Nice call by Mike Shula.
And George Diaz with a good block up front.
You see how they tried to take away the inside? Watch the Redskins. They're going to push it right inside. Now watch. Diaz comes outside. They knew that that was going to happen, so just bounce it outside. Still use the power if you have to, but you know you have Sapp on the sideline with that defense ready to make big plays.
Redskins lead by 6, but that lead is in jeopardy. The Buccaneers with a 1st and goal on the 3. Again with 2 tight ends, and King will throw out of the tight formation, getting rushed and very smartly throws it away.
Good coverage. Nicely done by Derek Smith. On McLeod trying to get out into the flat right away. Took that away. Jumped his coverage. Nothing there. Watch McLeod. He's going to try to come outside. Derek Smith read it perfectly. He'll take his coverage. Nicely done on the tight end right here. Beautifully done. Nowhere to go. Throws it into the stand.
2nd down and goal. And Dunn is back in the tailback. And they go to Warwick Dunn. Dunn spins away and gets to the 1-yard line. Bringing up 3rd and goal from the 1-yard line. And again, the Redskins don't let the Bucs get in there. Leamon Evans with a big play.
That was big because he held on to the only thing he couldn't, which was one leg.
And limping off now is Dunn. This is several times today the Buccaneers stars. Sapp on the defensive side and Dunn on the offensive side have had to come out.
Watch the spin right here. There's the spin. He comes out of it, but watch the bottom of it. Leamon Evans holding on. He's not letting that thing go.
So again, it's Allstock, the tailback. McLeod, the blocking back. From the 1, 3rd and goal. Play fake and King touchdown to John Davis, the tight end.
What a phenomenal play by the rookie, Sean King, who says this game does not get bigger than me. This is why I am unflappable. I love the pressure, and there's why. He sees it. Kalu comes right to his face, and he just dumps it off, and Davis scores going away.
And the score is tied, 13-13, and Martin Gramatica comes in, and a flag is down. The kick is good, but there is a penalty. And John Davis, in the regular season, caught 2 passes, one of them for a touchdown. And he is 1 for 1 in this game. And Sean King, the rookie, with a big play and the flag down. And apparently it is against the Redskins.
Unsportsmanlike conduct. Defense leaping. 50 yards will be administered on the kickoff.
So the extra point is good, and the Buccaneers lead 14-13. John Davis with the touchdown catch, and the 2 defensive aces on the sideline.
New Dakota Quad Cab comes with a nice big bed and big back doors that lead to a great big cab for putting things you don't want outside, inside, and vice versa. Inside, outside, inside, outside, inside, outside, inside. Oops, that's better. Outside. Dodge Dakota Quad Cab. Big room, big doors, big difference.
I need my light.
What light?
The light I ordered on your website.
This isn't the website. This is the store site.
You mean I can't get my light?
Not at this site.
Same store, same light.
Different system, different site.
I came in here because I thought I might...
Find the same things that were on the website.
Doesn't that seem right?
Now, in hindsight, if this site was tied to the website, then it would be easy for us to give you your light. Excellent insight, Dwight.
Forget it.
One company, one place for information. Now there's an idea.
Good night. So, I had fun.
That's how I'll call you.
Yeah, okay.
Well, hey. Next time I'll remember to bring enough cash for both of us.
Next time, use the Visa check card instead of cash. It's fast, easy, and accepted everywhere Visa is, so you can get what you need and get on with life.
This Fox NFC Divisional Playoff game is brought to you by Dodge. In a perfect world, everything would be different. By Visa, the preferred card of the NFL, and Super Bowl 34, it's everywhere NFL fans want to be. By DirecTV, what are you looking at? And by IBM, are you ready for key business?
Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who dropped their opening home game of the year to the Giants and then reeled off 7 straight, leading for the first time today on a 10-play, 68-yard drive. They have scored 2 touchdowns off of turnovers as John Davis passing the pass from Sean King, and now Brad Johnson and the Redskins have to go to work in what has been really a game of 2 different halves, although Brian Mitchell's kickoff return did happen here in the third quarter, in the third quarter.
But defensively, it's been a different Buck defense in the second half. They've stuffed this Redskin offense.
James Thrash and a bobble on the kickoff return, and the Redskins with Mike Sellers have to settle for possession on the 11-yard line. But you're right, Matt. Tampa Bay's defense making the big plays, and an alert play by Dunn. Davis getting the touchdown. Tampa Bay, and this pass caught by Davis out of the backfield. And it looks like another Redskins first down. The key play set up by the defense. Steve White forces the fumble from Johnson, recovered by Sapp. Now King fumbled, and an alert Warwick Dunn scampered with the ball. On 4th and 1, Mike Allstott got the necessary yardage, and then the touchdown pass to Davis, and the Buccaneers, who were trailing 13-0, at one point lead by 1 now.
Warwick Dunn, that was a phenomenal play in picking up that fumble.
First down at the 21, and unable to hold on to it is Alexander, and he has John Lynch all over him.
He has played an exceptional game as John Lynch. He's had his coverage. He's made the interception. We've shown you how he's dropped down in the 8-man front, has been unaccounted for. He's played a whale of a football game, as has in the second half the front 4. And they're starting to get pressure without any blitzes. And that makes calling defense a lot easier.
Second down and 10. Brad Johnson. And holding on to it is Larry Centers. He hasn't done that much today. He was the focal point last week against Detroit. And 4 yards lost on the play.
You know, I'm just watching Stephen Davis limp off the field. And let's just take a look at those feet, because what you're seeing is a little bit of gingerly steps going on out there. In fact, he's hobbled right off the field.
Gamely playing on an injured ankle and knee. Third down and 14. Johnson gets protection, and this pass broken up. Westbrook was the intended receiver, and Donnie Abraham was there to knock it away. And now the Tampa Bay defense playing with a lot more confidence than they did in the first half.
Boy, it's like the zones have just shrunk up here in the second half. And they're able to do it again because Monty Kiffin, the defensive coordinator, is getting great pressure out of his front 4. And there's no place to throw the ball back there.
Fourth down, and Matt Turk shanks it. And Carl Williams will let it bounce. And it doesn't turn out all that bad for the Redskins as it is down at the 35-yard line. They got 48 out of it. That's the guru of the Buccaneers defense, their coordinator, Monty Gibbons.
As an all-Madden scout, benefits are phenomenal. Anytime you can get on that bus and eat the way we do,
tremendous.
Doesn't get any better.
Go coast to coast on that bus. Better than that.
I can eat from Allentown to Cleveland.
Timeout called by, wait a second, that's not that far.
All right, make it Denver.
Timeout called, and the Bucs with their first timeout of the second half. We'll be right back. Now.
Oh, it's a monster. And we said it right at the time. That could turn things around. And because the emotion of the crowd and the fiery play of the defense since that thing, that play has been the pivotal play of this game.
Warwick Dunn is the tailback on first down from the 35. And Dunn with the handoff and picks up about 2.
The Bucs would like to get at least 3 more points out of this to turn it into a 4-point game. Because knowing their defense and knowing the attitude of Monty Kiffin, their defensive coordinator, they believe that there's no way that this Washington Redskin team is going to drive for a touchdown. Heck, they haven't done it all day. Offensively, all they've scored is 6 points. The other 7 have come from the kickoff return.
Brent Dilfer, who went down with a broken clavicle in the game at Seattle, and he has been a big supporter of Sean King. 4-1 as a starter coming into this one. Second down and 9, and the handoff to Allstott. And right there was Marco Coleman. And a loss on the play of 4 yards.
I think this is the best I've seen that front 4 play all season. Stubblefield played solid inside. Dan Wilkinson's had an excellent game. Coleman's been there a bunch. They've played very good on defense.
And the Buccaneers in no hurry here. You know, they'll rely on their defense. They lead by 1. Tampa Bay 0 for 8 when they needed 5 yards or more on third down. They had 13.
That goes back to what we said from the beginning. They needed to keep it third and short, 5 or less.
And King goes underneath, and the tackle. And this is where Tony Dungy didn't necessarily want to gamble for the big yardage because he is content to kick and hand it over to his defense with under 4 minutes to go.
Well, if you step back and look at the way this game is going, the Buc defense in the first half was on their heels a little bit. Norv Turner and that offense, led by Brad Johnson, had them kind of on the ropes. But at halftime, the adjustments, the biggest adjustment is just their front 4 turning it up. They're playing much better than they did early. And you look at that, you've got to say that this Redskin offense hasn't done squat here in the second half.
Royals punting for the 10th time, and that is a club record. Brian Mitchell back deep. And Mitchell getting set to return this kick. And a flag is down, and Mitchell hitting the ground immediately, and now another penalty marker thrown.
There's one all the way back.
Damian Robinson limping.
Yeah, and James Thrash, they got tangled up on the starting end of that thing.
But Thrash looks the better of it right now than does Damian Robinson.
I couldn't tell who took the takedown. I couldn't tell if Thrash held him and slammed him or Robinson took it and did a throw himself. It goes to Damian Robinson. Almost looks like a wrestling hip toss. Right here.
There's one foul on the play. Holding offense, number 24, during the kick. There was no foul during the return. 10-yard penalty, retry, 4th down.
Personally, I think that should have gone the other way. Thrash, see, when you're rushing the punt like that and you're responsible for a man, you don't want to let him out. And so as you take off and you rush this punt, watch Damian Robinson, 24. See, Thrash has it. And he's trying to pin Robinson so he can't get down in the coverage. But in fact, Robinson even throws his hands up at the end. But the official throws the flag. You see that underhook there by Thrash? Actually a pretty good throw.
So now it is 4th down again, and Royals will kick. Now the Redskins are looking at far better field position as Mitchell standing on the 30-yard line.
Mike Sellers jumped. Of course, the point drill is going on inside. Keep in mind, at the 3:14 mark.
Defense, number 45. 5-yard penalty. Still 4th down.
At the 3:14 mark in this game, you throw it all out. All you're going to have, you have your timeouts. Timeouts don't really, you have to be able, you got to get some points. And the chances are you may not get the ball back again. So it'll be interesting to see if Norv Turner goes ahead and starts going to 4 down.
Well, it's going to be in the hands of Brad Johnson when he gets back on the field as the Royals finally kicks, and a wobbly kick, not a good one, and Mitchell on the 35-yard line tripped up in a fine open field tackle by Floyd Young. It's been a comeback game for the Buccaneers, who were down 13-0 at one time, and it all started right here with the interception by John Lynch. And the Buccaneers scoring, Mike Allstott going out of the pack and getting the touchdown. The first offensive score of the game by either team, and then the fumble caused by Steve White, recovered by Warren Sapp, and then King, before he got hit, finds John Davis, and the go-ahead score. The Bucs lead by 1 with 3:05 remaining, and a first down on the 38-yard line, and the swing pass to Skip Hicks, and the second-year back out of UCLA, picking up about 5 or 6 yards with Rondy Barber defending.
It's been a quiet day, really, for the White House, but Michael Westbrook in particular, with one catch. His main role early in the game was to clear out for Connell.
Second down and 4. Brad Johnson's pass, and deflected by Rondy Barber, and caught but out of bounds for an incomplete pass.
Pretty good job of stepping up. They're feeling the pressure from the backside. Marcus Jones, did they just step up and make that throw? Boy, this is really well-played defense. This is as good a zone defense that I have seen.
And this is what the Buccaneers bring to the dance.
It's not complicated. It's just well played.
3rd and 4 with under 3 minutes to go in the 4th. And the pass to Centers. And Larry Centers appears to have a first down, and he does. And Brad Johnson wants the team together. They want to hurry it up here, knowing that a field goal would put them in the lead again.
Looks like the offense did take a shot down there that Barber broke up, but it looks like they're going to be patient just to move it methodically down the field, and they should.
First down, again, they swing it out to Skip Hicks, and Hicks avoids Rondy Barber and gets close to the first down, and he may have it, and he does, to the 40-yard line of Tampa Bay. The Redskins still with 3 timeouts remaining, and the Bucs with only 2.
And did you see how Skip Hicks finished that run? He got the pass, he turned the corner, got the first, and then lowered his shoulder at the end on Damian Robinson. Ran right by Ronde Barber, but lowered the boom on Robinson.
Brett Conway, whose career-long field goal is 51 yards. That's all the Redskins need to regain the lead. Have a first down on the Bucs 40. Hand off Larry Centers, and a rare running play for Centers, and he picks up nearly 8 yards.
That was an excellent call, and good job of anticipating what Monty Kiffin was going to do, because they came on a blitz. Watch, he's coming up inside, so they're going to take this thing and run it right inside and use that blitz against them.
2-minute warning here in the 4th quarter. We'll be right back. It was intended for Westbrook, and will bring up 3rd and 3.
Nicely done again on the backside. Kip Vickers was beat by Stephen White. Remember earlier, White was the one that forced the fumble that turned this thing around.
Norv Turner's record not at all anything to brag about in close games. 6 and 17 in games decided by 3 points or less. 3rd and 3 coming up at the 33.
Remember, this is 4 downs here.
And the handoff to Skip Hicks, nothing there. So it'll be 4th down. And remember, Conway's career long is 51 yards, and he starts to walk on. Warren Sapp made this tackle.
Oh, this is a tough one right here. If you try to go for it and miss it, you're not going to get another shot. You have to take your shot.
So here is Brett Conway, who has kicked 2 field goals today. The first from 28 yards to give the Redskins a 3-0 lead in the second, and then a 48-yarder after Darrell Green's interception. So this is for the lead for the Redskins, and it would match his career long of 51 yards. And now the Buccaneers will try to ice Conway with a timeout.
Remember, he kicked one earlier into the wind. Now he has the wind at his back.
I guess after last week's Tennessee-Buffalo game, it doesn't matter if
Yogi had it right.
Over, right?
It ain't over until it's over. It's been a well-played defensive game today, Jim. Both coaches believed it would be close. Both of them were comfortable with it coming down to the end. Both of them had confidence in thinking that they could win a close football game.
And the winner of this game will move on to the NFC Championship game on Fox a week from tomorrow. Brad Johnson is the holder. The quarterback, Brad Johnson, is holding. This is a 51-yard attempt. Necessity that nobody went. Have to throw the ball, and the pass is broken up. It was a bad snap from center, and Brad Johnson looking to throw, but nobody went downfield. And Dan Turk, the long snapper, did not get the job done. And these problems, Matt, started in week 1 against the Dallas Cowboys.
I mentioned nobody went. When this ball is a bad call, you have a hot call. Brad Johnson has to yell hot. And when that happens, both the tight ends and the wings have to go out for a pass. Sellers is the only one that went out, but it was half-hearted. He had no one else to throw the football to. These guys become eligible, as well as the tight ends inside. And the kicker, they're all eligible. No reaction. Jenkins finally goes out, but it's too late.
You know, in the back of my mind, when I saw Brad Johnson, who's a normal holder, I said maybe they'll fake this for the 3 yards and get the first down. So now taking over the Buccaneers and Mike Allstott turning the corner as we wind down to a minute remaining. So Dan Turk with an errant snap from center, and the reaction of the Glazier family in their booth. But when you look at Dan Snyder, the owner of the Redskins, a different view, and John Lynch with Trent Dilfer, and the Buccaneers maintain their 14-13 lead with 59 seconds to go.
Now this one's over.
Consoling Dan Turk over there, and the Redskins using up their first timeout. And that's Matt Turk, his brother, consoling him as the Redskins in position to take the lead. Conway attempting a 51-yard field goal, and it never got underway.
Now you never know. You never know what the heck's going to happen.
This year?
Yeah, ever really. And boy, this year was a humdinger, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But it comes down in every game situation, and it goes back to what you practice every week. And every week you practice that hot call, and every week you get out. And when you never know when it's going to happen. And there it happened, and they flop.
2nd down and 4, and they give it to Allstott. And Allstott edges his way into Redskin territory, and the Redskins call their second timeout. Well, It's been an enjoyable year and an exciting game to finish out, Matt. And our crew has done a marvelous job, and I'm proud of every one of them, as I know you and Pam Oliver are. Today's game produced by Richard Zients and directed by Artie Kempner. You won't find two better. The associate director, Greg Scopatoni, the broadcast associates, Jacob Ullman, Derek Manning, and Adrian Hassenmeyer, the technical producer, Dean Walker, and his outstanding crew. The pregame show was produced by Scott Ackerson and directed by Bob Levy. The senior producer is Bill Brown, and the executive producers of Fox Sports are Ed Gorin and David Hill. And that was the third and final timeout by the Redskins.
I was surprised he just didn't take a knee. This one's history. Why would they even waste their time with attempting that there could be a fumble?
Sean King will hand it off again to Allstott. Trying to stay in bounds. He does more than that. He gets the first down as well, and that's all she wrote. Tampa Bay is going to win and move on to the NFC Championship game.
Well, there were so many big plays and pivotal plays that happened in this game. You think back on the Steve White sack for a fumble. The Warwick Dunn picking up of a fumble and getting a first. The critical 4th and 1 that Allstott picked up. Lots of big plays, but to me, the key for this game was the defense in the second half for Tampa Bay. They picked it up.
And sparked by John Lynch's interception. So the game is over, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, after trailing 13-0, advance to the NFC title game with a 14-13 win over the Redskins. Let's go down on the field to Pam Oliver with John Lynch.
Okay, thanks a lot, Dick. John, congratulations. First, give me your thoughts about this huge win.
It was awesome. You know, you got to feel a little bit like we're destined. A bad snap there. They played a heck of a game, and we battled. And we come from behind earlier this year, and I think that helped us a lot. We played in a lot of close games, and I think that served us well in the fourth quarter.
You were really responsible for turning the tide in this game with that pick of Brad Johnson. Talk us through that play.
You know, Brad, they had been hitting us with a lot of inside routes, and I had actually, they ran two seams, and I had actually bitten on the inside, and Brad went outside. I read his eyes and just went and got the ball.
A team that starts 3-4 heading to the NFC Championship game, what does that take?
I think it tells you we have a lot of perseverance, a lot of fight in us. We've got a head coach who didn't give up on what we believe in, and we all bought into that. And we fought our way back, and you know, 8 of the last 10, and to get this win, it's outstanding. And we'll give it our best shot next week.
You did a great job. Thanks a lot. Let's go back out to Dick.
Bucs win their 8th in a row at home, and if the Rams lose tomorrow to Minnesota, the NFC Championship game would be right here. We have more coming up from Tampa, but again, the final score, the Bucs 14 and the Redskins 13.
It's Showdown Saturday on NFL Prime Time. Time for the Jaguars' long-awaited chance to prove they are the league's best. Fred Taylor and Jimmy Smith want to turn on the afterburners against the Fish. Would Dan and the Dolphins see it all slip away? In the NFC, the first playoff game ever at the new Sombrero. Warren Sapp and the Gulf Warriors hope to pound Brad Johnson and the Redskins, while Stephen Davis hopes to be a Warrior on the warpath again. Find out who's moving on. NFL Prime Time next. The special Saturday edition of NFL Primetime Divisional Playoffs. Hi, everybody. I'm Chris Berman along with Tom Jackson, dressed Floridian because all three Florida teams playing 2 games at home. And, boy, that second one, Tom. Wow.
Great game.
Wow.
Great game. Great game.
Wow.
Great defense. I missed that.
Yes. A lot of people missed that, but we're going to get to that. Wow. What a fourth quarter that was. Meanwhile, the day began in Jacksonville. The newest entry from the Sunshine State is the Jaguars, 14-2, the best record in the NFL, hosting the Miami Dolphins. The Dolphins, hot off an upset at Seattle last week. Dan Marino engineered yet another Fourth quarter comeback, so this in his 18th playoff game. Would maybe Marino and the Dolphins become Elway and the Broncos? Would they be the Cinderella story that everyone was rooting for? Would this be Marino's last game if he lost? Would it be Jimmy Johnson's last game if he lost? Lots of questions. As for the Jaguars, 14-2, but they've beaten nobody with a winning record. What about their questions? Were they for real? Tell you what, they answered most everything in a hurry that they needed on their questionnaire. As for Marino and Johnson, could they keep it going? Or would we have decisions to make tonight on the ride home? And would Mark Brunell, playing with a hobbled knee, be healthy? Jags playing without Tony Baselli. First series, Jacksonville gets the kickoff. Slant to Jimmy Smith. Oh, by the way, the best-kept secret in football, he led everybody with 116 catches this year. He had 136 yards receiving today. 6 plays later on 3rd and 7. Brunell, and look at the time he has, Tom, as he finds Smith, touchdown, 7-0.
Yeah, throwing from inside the red zone, had 4 or 5 seconds to throw the football, find the receiver, too much time given by the Miami Dolphins.
Here comes Dan Marino. First play of the game on offense for the Dolphins. And it's Aaron Beasley. It's Mrs. Beasley. He makes the pick that sets up a Hollis field goal, 10-0 Jacksonville. Beasley continuing his big-time season. Next Dolphins possession on 3rd and 3. Marino. What? Dan 0 for his first 7 passes. With the score still 10-0 later in the first on 2nd and 9. Brunell to Fred Taylor, his own 10. 1 miss. 2 misses. And then Brock Barron, he's the only man that can catch him. But he turns into Maid Marion. And Jimmy Smith ensures it. Look at him come to block. Could go all the way. The longest playoff run ever. Touchdown or any variety. 90 yards. Fred Taylor, 17-0 Jags.
This play is all about the excellence of Fred Taylor. The first miss by Calvin Jackson, then Patrick Surtain coming up. Robert Jones going to come up, have a chance to make the play, and then Brock Marion on the chase. And you see the speed of Fred Taylor once he gets behind the defense.
Wrap him up, says Jimmy. You got to wrap him up. But it was the Jacksonville Jaguars that were wrapping this up before the Dolphins knew what hit him. Hit by Tony Brackens as Marino at the fumble. Now this is bizarre. Brackens hasn't been touched. Don't celebrate, run! And then there's Donnelly with a 2-hand touch. Runs as Bryce Pop. Run! Oh, by the way, it's a touchdown. 24-0.
We take another look at this. We're going to see Tony Brackens as he gets this ball. The ball is out now. Great play by him. Picks it up. He's down on the ground. He felt somebody. And look at Bryce Pop. Nice presence of mind to get Brackens headed toward the end zone.
The Dolphins have allowed 197 yards of total offense in the first quarter. That's more than the whole game last week to the Seahawks. But it would get worse. 24-0. Brunell to Fred Taylor. Nice defense, and then when they get somebody to him, nice tackling. 31-0 as Taylor makes mincemeat of the Dolphins, Tom. Is there anybody here?
And possibly the worst job of tackling we've seen on a single play. Watch here, Sean Wooden, then Sam Madison. That's Sean Wooden right there. Sam Madison going to come up, have a chance at the play. Patrick Surtain coming from the inside. And then Jason Taylor going to miss this play right there. Good hustle by Wooden. He's going to come back and miss him twice right there at the 3-yard line.
It would still get worse for Jimmy Johnson. ESPN's Tommy Hutt fumbles the top, blocked by Corey Chamblin. Chris Howard's going to fall out. Look at Chamblin. Shazam! Shazam! That sets up a 3rd and 14 from the 25 for the Jags. Time for little man Storr, Jimmy Storr. Wonderful, wonderful run. 25 yards, 38-0. We've only played 18 minutes.